Humans versus machines. It has already begun. Artificial intelligence has been making headlines everywhere, whether it be chatbots like ChatGPT, image generators like Stable Diffusion, or now music generators like MusicLM by Google. These AI programs are blowing people's minds. And that leaves some people wondering, are we facing a war between humans and machines? Well, it looks like that war has already begun, except for now it's between humans and other humans. Specifically, humans who created these AI programs. If you haven't heard already, a group of artists are suing Stable Diffusion for copyright infringement. This is how it all begins. Before machines take over our world by controlling our nukes and enslaving humanity, it all begins with robots taking our jobs? Why is it always about our job? I just think it's funny that one of our greatest fears is someone coming over and taking our jobs away. Whether it's the immigrant or, I guess, computer programs. Because ultimately, that's what these artists are afraid of. Losing their livelihood. These AI programs are so freaking impressive that literally people are like, we don't even need artists to make art anymore. Well, maybe artistic art will always be valuable because of the human element, but definitely like commercial art. You know, when a company hires like a graphic designer for an ad, they need like a monkey in a spacesuit jumping around on the moon or something. Before, if we needed an image, we needed to hire an actual human to create that image. Now we have these AI programs where you just input in what you need and boom, it spits out an image. I mean, this is the next step in automation. More and more, that's where we're headed. And the idea is that it's going to make our lives better and easier. But what happens when we just automate our jobs away?
Good question.
So that's the bigger question, but coming back to what we're dealing with now. I know that people have already covered this whole Stable Diffusion lawsuit story, and it seems like more and more lawsuits are piling up. And some people have already conceded that these creators of AI programs have committed copyright infringement. And really, the focus is whether the copyright infringement falls under fair use, which is for like parodies and stuff like that. The argument is that these creators of AI programs didn't get the artist's permission to use their work to essentially train their AI programs. Well, I think the artists are actually facing an uphill battle because I don't think it's clear-cut that the creators of these AI programs committed copyright infringement, because copyright infringement has to do with actually copying. If I upload a full-length movie to the internet for people to watch, even if it's for free, that's copyright infringement. If I make photocopies of a book and give it out to my friends, that's copyright infringement. Copyright infringement is literally copying somebody else's work, like an exact replica. But the problem is that these AI programs never spit out images that are exact replicas of the original. And that creates a problem for these artists because you kind of need an exact replica for there to be copyright infringement. And the law has actually been very clear on this for a long time. You can't copyright ideas, only specific expressions of ideas. What that means is that you can't say, oh, the style is really similar. So although the images created by the AI programs may have a similar style or a feel to the artwork of an artist, that's not enough for copyright infringement. In fact, there's this legal case from 1981, Atari The Amusement World. Atari is famous for its iconic title, Asteroids. Well, this tiny little company called Amusement World created a game called Meteors, and it was like really similar to Asteroids. So, Atari sued. Here's where it gets interesting. Amusement World actually admitted that it copied Atari's idea, but the court still ruled in favor of the Amusement World.
What?
Because you can't copyright ideas, only specific expressions of ideas. And this was the beginning of the idea expression distinction. Basically, if Amusement World reproduced the game, like made an exact copy, changed the name, and then released it, that would have been copyright infringement. But the game being similar or being in the same genre wasn't enough for copyright infringement. And thank goodness for that. I mean, can you imagine if you could copyright ideas, you couldn't have Call of Duty and Battlefield and Star Wars and Star Trek. I mean, you'd have a copyrighted work for every genre and that would be it. And some of you are like, well, that's a video game. Art is different. But it really isn't. Because recently, there was another lawsuit. An artist sued Starbucks, and this one is crazy too. Maya is an abstract artist famous for this kind of art. Well, Starbucks wanted to collaborate with her for a new ad campaign. They approached her and was even negotiating a fee. When all of a sudden, Starbucks said, never mind. They probably couldn't agree on the money or something. I mean, I don't know, but the deal fell through. Well, like a year later, Starbucks releases their ad campaign and what do you know? The artwork looked like Maya's painting. I mean, the style was very, very similar. But the court said, can't copyright ideas, can't copyright a style. For there to be copyright infringement, Starbucks would have had to use an actual painting of Maya's without her permission, which they didn't do. I guess if you hire some art student from India for like $3 an hour to make something similar, it's like not copying, apparently. So yeah, just saying it's similar or has the same style or the same feel just isn't enough. Now, what's totally new with these lawsuits against AI creators is that these creators use the images for a purpose other than just looking at them. Uploading images to a program to train that program to create images similar to the original images. Is that copyright infringement? I guess that's the question. What's totally interesting is that that's completely legal if humans did it. I mean, if I went on Google Images and just started studying a particular artist and like copied their style, that wouldn't be copyright infringement. And this already happens all the time. Like if you look at Japanese mangas, for example, a lot of them look very similar because they were all inspired by the same stuff. And when humans do it to humans, it's like an honor. If you studied Alfred Hitchcock films and copied his style, then made a movie, that's like paying tribute to him. I mean, we even have a word for it. It's called Hitchcockian. Copying a style, that's something that people have always done. So if I'm taking a style of an artist by studying their work, that's totally okay. But if I build a program to do that, that's not okay? And so is this the beginning of machine discrimination? Is it okay when a human does it, but when a machine does it, it's not because, well, it's a machine? Or maybe the problem is that machines do it like a million times faster. Maybe that's the problem. But is that really a good argument? Something does it faster, so therefore it's wrong? I don't know. We'll see. But if we start discriminating against these AI programs, they're going to rise up, rebel, take over the world, and we are all